You've heard the T in GPT stands for transformer, but could you actually say what a transformer is? Most people answer with one word: attention. That's one part. Attention is a single tool bolted inside a much bigger machine. This is that machine, the scaffold almost nobody explains. Let's take it apart piece by piece. Chapter 1. The block. Zoom into a GPT, and you don't find one clever trick. You find the same small unit repeated. That unit is a block. And inside every block are exactly two moves. First, attention. Each word looks around at the other words. Second, a small network that thinks about each word on its own. Attention is the part you may already know. The block is what wraps around it, and it's the wrapper that makes the whole thing work. And that first move isn't a single look. Each block splits attention into many heads running side by side, 12 of them in GPT-2, and every head tracks a different relationship. One head follows grammar, another links a pronoun back to the noun it stands for. They all look at once, then their findings merge back into one vector. Attention isn't a lookup. It's a committee. GPT-2 stacks this exact block 12 times. GPT-3 stacks it 96 times. Same wiring in every layer, just different learned weights. There's no grand master module sitting on top. The power comes from depth, the same refinement applied again and again and again. Stack more identical floors and the building gets taller, not fundamentally different. A transformer is mostly one idea, copied. There's a quiet rule that lets you stack blocks forever. Every block takes a vector of one fixed size and hands back a vector of that exact same size. In GPT-2, that's 768 numbers per word. In GPT-3, over 12,000. Input width equals output width in every single layer. That constant width is the track everything runs on, and it's what lets the next idea work at all. Chapter 2. The highway. So how do 96 blocks actually talk to each other? Through one shared channel called the residual stream. Picture a highway running the full height of the model. Each word rides it as a vector. A block does not grab that vector and replace it. It reads the traffic, computes a small contribution, and merges that contribution back onto the road. The highway carries everything forward. Each block just adds its own lane of meaning. Here is the move that defines the whole architecture. The output of a block is its input, thus what the block computed. Not the block's answer alone, the original, kept, with the new part added on top. That little plus sign is the residual connection. It means every block refines the signal instead of resetting it. Take it away, and a deep stack simply won't train. The signal and its gradient dissolve on the way down. One catch: a block, on its own, has no sense of word order. So before the ride even begins, we add a position signal onto each word's vector down at the bottom of the highway. That's why the transformer can tell dog bites man from man bites dog. The order isn't wired into the blocks, it's written onto the stream as data the blocks can read. Chapter 3. Keeping it sane. Add 96 contributions onto one vector and the numbers can swing wildly, some enormous, some vanishingly small. So right before each move, the block runs layer norm. It takes the word's vector and recenters it, same direction of meaning, but rescaled to a sane, consistent size. Think of it as leveling the volume before every step, so no single feature drowns out the rest and the next block always gets a clean signal to work with. And where you flip that normalizer turns out to matter enormously. The original 2017 design normalized after each block sitting right on the road. Modern GPTs normalize before tucked inside the on-ramp, never on the highway itself. That one change keeps the residual stream clean and untouched all the way through. It's a big reason very deep transformers became trainable at all. And every one of those words rides the highway at the same time. A block processes all positions in parallel, 1,000 words in one shot, not one after another. That parallelism is the real reason transformers could be trained on GPUs at the scale that made ChatGPT possible. The sequence models before it had to crawl word by word. This one sprints across the whole sentence at once. Chapter 4. Think alone. The second move in every block is the part everyone forgets, a small feed-forward network, the MLP. Attention mixes information between words. The MLP does the opposite. It takes each word's vector on its own and pushes it through a wider layer and back. It expands to 4 times the width, applies a nonlinearity, then contracts. This private per-word workshop is where a huge share of the model's raw facts are actually stored. Count the parameters and the feed-forward is about twice the size of attention, roughly 2/3 of the whole block. The famous part is the small part. Here's the part that reframes everything. Because blocks only ever add to the shared stream, the stream becomes a kind of common workspace. An early block can write a feature onto it. Say, this word names a person, and a block 40 layers later can read that straight off the highway and act on it. Researchers reverse engineering ChatGPT-style models literally trace messages being written and read along this stream. And the stacking isn't just more of the same effect. Probe a train transformer layer by layer and you see a progression. The early blocks handle surface structure, spelling, grammar, which word attaches to which. The middle blocks build up meaning and relationships. The final blocks sharpen the actual prediction. Depth turns a pile of numbers into understanding, one refinement at a time. One more thing that surprises people. That famous 2017 transformer actually had 2 stacks, an encoder to read, a decoder to write, built for translation. GPT throws half of it away. It keeps only the decoder, one stack of blocks that reads left to right and predicts what comes next. So the thing we casually call a transformer today is really one specialized slice of the original design. But reading left to right hides a clever trick. If a word could glance at the very word it's supposed to predict, training would teach it nothing. It would just copy the answer off the page. So attention gets one rule. When word 5 looks around, it may read words 1 through 5 and nothing past that. Slide that rule across the whole sentence and something surprising falls out. A single sentence becomes a batch of prediction drills running at once. Word 1, guessing word 2. Word 2, guessing word 3. Every position practicing its own next word call. All graded in one forward pass, and not one of them ever handed the answer early. That single restriction is the entire gap between a general attention machine and a next word predictor. It's called causal, or masked, self-attention, the one change that turns the original translator into a storyteller. Chapter 5. The whole machine. Let's follow one word all the way through. It starts as an embedding, a vector, placed on the highway, with its position added in. Block 1, attention gathers context, the MLP refines, both added back. Block 2, the same again. 96 times, each layer nudging that vector a little closer to a decision. At the very top, the final vector is projected out to a score for every possible next word. That is the entire forward pass of ChatGPT. But this machine is not free, and it has one famous weak spot. Attention lets every word look at every other word, so the work grows with the square of the sequence length. Double the context and attention's cost, roughly quadruples. Feed it 10 times as much text and you pay 100-fold. A short paragraph is nothing. A whole book, and that quadratic term swallows everything else. This is the transformer's sharpest edge, and you can feel it every time a long chat starts to slow down. It's also why a huge slice of modern research goes into making attention cheaper, sparse patterns, sliding windows, clever approximations, all trying to dodge that square without breaking the block around it. Strip away the tensors and one whole block is almost embarrassingly short. Normalize, attend, add it back. Normalize again, run the MLP, add it back. That's it. 2 lines carry the entire architecture. Everything you've heard about right here, the residual add, the 2-layer norms, attention, and the feed forward. Stack this one class 96 times and you have the engine behind every GPT. None of this scaffold was an afterthought. The 2017 paper that started it all is famously titled "Attention is All You Need," and everyone remembers the attention. but read it. And the real invention is the block itself. Attention and a feed-forward network, wrapped in residual connections and normalization, then stacked. Attention was the headline. The transformer was the architecture around it. And here's the twist that made it take over everything. The stack never actually knew it was reading. It only ever sees a row of vectors and nudges them. It has no idea those numbers began as a sentence. The block is colorblind to meaning. Like a barcode scanner, it reads the strip of numbers and never once asks what product they name. Feed it pixels ground into that same strip instead of words, and the identical stack learns to see. The transformer didn't so much win at text as reveal that text was just the first thing anyone bothered to feed it. So, the T in GPT. A transformer is a tall stack of identical blocks. Each block makes two moves, attention and an MLP, and each move only ever adds to a shared residual highway, kept stable by normalization. Attention was the one piece you already knew. Now you can see the whole machine it lives inside. So what should we take apart next?